Mr. Jain, your company today is a very diversified company, and especially after the acquisition of the lighting business from Varroc and earlier Triumph. So, and it's obvious that a lot of revenues now comes from the erstwhile Vistion business which you acquired. How is it spread across your entire portfolio?
Yeah. So presently, let's say this year we'll be doing about 8,000 crores in sales in Indian rupee terms, and out of which about 5,000 crores would be from operations abroad, of which 4,500 crores is the Vistion entity we bought, which is called Varroc Lighting Systems,
okay,
which is a global company with plants in Mexico, in Czech Republic, China, and also a plant in India.
Okay.
So that's about, including that India plant, is about, that is the entity is about 4,500 crores, and 500 crores is actually are my two entities in Italy. One is called Triumph,
okay,
which is the two-wheeler lighting piece.
That's right.
We bought more for technology.
Okay.
And that's got a plant in Turin as well as a plant in Romania and also one in Vietnam.
Okay.
And that's a two-wheeler lighting piece, but the larger interest there where we bought it was because it was technologically a very sound company for two-wheelers, two-wheeler lighting technology, and also they had a plant in Vietnam.
Okay.
And the other plant is the first acquisition we did in Italy, ever outside of India, was a company called EMES. We did large forgings.
Okay.
For Caterpillar and for the oil and gas business. Okay. So in a way, the only entity which is non-auto for us.
Okay.
Being off-road and all is, different. So these two entities in Italy are 500 crores. 4,500 crores is our Varroc Lighting Systems and 3,000 crores from India.
Okay, wonderful. And are these all primarily targeted towards the OEMs where you get your business? And
yeah.
Also when I talk of OEMs, are you there in the aftermarket, and if you're there?
So abroad, actually, we're not in the aftermarket, really.
Okay.
We are in a very small way. It's not even worth talking about anywhere abroad. India, I can say, out of 3,000 crores, 2% is our aftermarket.
Okay.
And that's an interesting business for us. But it's a tough market, the aftermarket in India, the organized sector. Because there's a big unorganized sector in the aftermarket also, okay, which we don't play in. So in the organized sector, it's not that big, and the kind of products we do and all, it's, there are limitations in how much we can grow.
Okay.
So at the moment it's about 2% of our sales.
Okay.
But it's an interesting business for us.
Okay. So that, how do you see the growth there in this sector?
So there, in the aftermarket, let's say we are at about, this year, 125 crores in the aftermarket out of 3,000.
Yeah.
And going forward, by 2020, when we reach a certain sales size in India, could be around 10,000 crores plus. That should be about 300 crores.
Okay.
So still it will remain a smaller percentage,
okay,
though it will grow.
Okay.
So basically, as you can see, we are largely in the OEM. We are a B2B business, largely supplying parts for various OEMs in India as well as globally.
Okay. And I've noticed that your company has grown over the years, and especially after the Vistion bit, it really grew. I just want you to very briefly take us through those great and anxious moments. How did it happen?
So I can tell you. See, we were largely in India at that point of time, a business. We had only done one acquisition of EMES, that non-auto part, in 2007 January. So, but we had been honestly post this, I would say, this recession time of 8-9, because we also felt that Indian market has grown. Once we got liberalization, I would say 94, 95 onwards, all Indian auto component companies saw a growth whether they liked it or not.
Yep.
Till I would say 2006, 2007, or maybe even 2008, when things started slowing down post-recession, and post this recession which took place, from October 2008. So everybody has seen a good growth, but we could see growth slowing down in India. Mostly around 2005-06, we got that sense, and that's the reason we also went outside of India to a little bit, to maintain our growth and little bit, de-risk from India also. We went and bought this factory EMES. But largely in India, we were more in the two-wheeler space.
Okay.
See, 90% of our business was in a two-wheeler space. Now, see, in a two-wheeler space, I had an ambition to be a global player in auto components. Now, in a two-wheeler space, it's very difficult to be a global player. And also to organically grow in the four-wheeler segment is not that easy for an Indian company at that point of time. The only way was through an acquisition.
Okay.
So right from 2007, 2008, we were looking actually at a couple of companies, mostly in the electrical field.
Okay.
For a buyout, some global companies.
Okay.
So we looked at, we're looking at global companies, and then we got this chance, in 2011, we got a call from Rothschild, who are one of these financial, financial advisors.
Okay.
So they kind of contacted me and they said that, are you interested in a lighting entity, a global player? And then I went through the details and all the size was just right for us. They were in fact bigger than what we were at that point of time, but still not too big.
Okay.
But I was always wary that, what will the price be, because it could be expensive and stuff like that. And it was a bidding process, it was not just a one-on-one.
Okay.
It was going to be a bidding process where they probably contacted another 30, 40 people globally, maybe more, But but I said that, okay, I was at that point of time, I got quite excited, but at the same time I felt that whether we can really afford it. Because we've always been very financially disciplined. So I would not over leverage and buy anything.
Okay. So
what we did was that we gave a kind of a very fair offer. We knew that, in fact, I felt that maybe we will not get to the second round of bidding with that offer.
Okay.
But fortunately for us, we got into the second round. And the reason I think we got into the second round was that we were a strategic player. We were one of the probably an auto component player where they probably felt could be a good fit for the existing management of that lighting business globally.
Okay.
And that's the reason I feel that we got into the second round. And once we got into the second round, then I became very serious. And then, I said I'll go all out to win. But for that you would have to risk some money, also in advisors. Like, I got in advisors, PwC, from a legal and accounting point of view. Then for a business diligence, I got it Bain Consulting.
Okay.
Then we also got in somebody from the environment side.
Okay.
To check the environment, because that also can be liabilities.
Absolutely. Right.
Environment, from environment. So we got in another, I think I forget the name of the company, and we also got in Citi US, Citibank US, as our advisors for valuation, help, and also for correct bidding. So these were expensive, and minimum I would have probably been down. Actually not succeeded, I've been down $2 to $3 million. There's a money I would have to bet in case I did not it did not work out.
Okay.
But I said I'll go all out. Let me do my best, because the point is that I want to be a global player. That was my ambition. And the point is, this is a good opportunity. It's a very good product group. Lighting is a jewelry of a car. And this company, this entity of Visteons was number six globally with a 6 or 7% market share. So they were a global player with the right level of technology.
Okay.
And a very good global customer base which could help us even in our India business. Mm-hmm. So, it was something very exciting for us. So I said, let's go all out. What's the harm? Come on, if you want to do, you got to take some risks. So we went all out. Luckily we won the bid.
Okay.
In the sense that we visited every plant. We created a positive impression. Because we got in all these advisors in, and who were also marquee names, and they felt that we were very serious. And our bid was also, then we upped the bid and all also.
Okay.
So our bid also became much more interesting for them, as well as they kind of saw our seriousness in this whole exercise, and eventually we won the bid.
Okay.
And we got it.
Okay, and there were many other companies in the fray for
There were quite a few, because at the beginning there were also a lot of Indian, because they must have, he's like anybody, any like Rothschild, as an advisor to Visteon, they would have contacted many people. I think there must have been 40, 50 companies, maybe, I don't know how many they contacted.
Okay.
Eventually, actually, in the few months, it I think boiled down to probably like 3. I think we came to know about this in August, September, but December end, when things got more serious, I think some people dropped out, and and some people they didn't find interesting, and eventually there were 3 people left in December end.
Okay.
And by February, we had actually by February or I think March, I think February end or something, we had we signed that binding MOU with Vistio.
Okay, and that also meant a whole set of new clients and new companies.
So what this gave us was a global level of technology. It gave access to global customers and also global talent. I mean today, the kind of leadership which exists in this entity is also, in a way, I think they get in superior strengths to what we have in India. So India is a much younger country. It's a more emerging market, while North America, US, Europe, they are obviously more mature than what we are.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of learnings, which would help our India business. So global talent, global customer base, global level of technology, and also relatively low cost operations, because, for example, Mexico was servicing North America. There was no plant in Canada and US,
okay,
where the wages are higher. They were in Mexico, so relatively low cost.
Okay.
We had 3 plants they had in the Czech Republic, servicing the whole of Europe, whether it was Germany, France, Russia, all out of the Czech Republic, out of 3 facilities. China anyway is low cost, and India. So the footprint, the manufacturing footprint also was very exciting.
Okay.
So everything was, very exciting, and we were lucky. We were lucky to get through.
Okay, lovely. And just a few days back, you also announced a new tie-up with Scorpion of UK.
Yes.
Now does that area hold promising, in terms of business?
Oh yes, it does, because see, those are to do with security systems. And that is, at the moment, initially is more for a 2-wheeler space. In a more 2-wheeler space, they also do 4-wheeler. But more in a 2-wheeler space at the moment. See, more and more, as we see in cars also. See, more and more, there are more and more of electronics coming in.
True.
And see, today, if you have to stay ahead, we just can't do just a current level of products which we are doing. We have to go in for some more advanced products going forward. And we have to go in for these kind of tie-ups. So this is something which is a company which actually explored India. So we are not the only ones they were talking to. They talked to some other players also here. But they found us to be the right partner.
Okay.
In the future. So these kind of things, the electronics, in 2-wheelers through security systems is something of the future. And that's something we're very excited about. And in India, as you know, 2-wheelers is the biggest form of mobility. That's an industry which never degrows really. There's always a growth there.
Absolutely.
And that's where Varroc in India is largely present more in the 2-wheeler space in India. Globally it's all the passenger car.
Okay.
But in India we are more 90% in 2-wheelers.
Okay, whether it's a scooter or a motorcycle.
Yeah, and there are a lot of prospective customers, whether it's Bajaj, whether it is Honda, Hero. We can approach, and we approach a couple of people already. They find it very interesting.
And does this have a scope of doing business outside India too?
I think what I understand, there would be a scope at the moment is for the Indian market.
Okay.
What I understand.
Okay. And all this, you have...
See, India is the largest market in the world.
Absolutely, it is.
So it's not that we are unhappy about that.
Definitely. And you have a lot of plants in India and abroad. And like you just mentioned, whole lot of new technologies, you're acquiring them, spreading your wings there in that area. This also calls for a huge R&D, work. So are you well equipped there? How strong is that R&D team? And
Yeah,
how
see,
well is
look,
it spread?
in our global business, we are very well equipped.
Okay.
Where it comes to the lighting systems, exterior lightings for cars, almost 6% of our sales is on R&D. So we are, very much there. We have got every level of technology when it comes to lighting, LEDs or xenons or whatever level of technology which even the bigger players have are there with us, and we keep on working more on high level of technology. But at the same time, we are also working, which is more important for the customers today, is that they want affordable technology. Like they said, LED headlamp, they want it to be more affordable. Okay. So the whole focus is how to give the technology at affordable cost, even to somebody like Daimler. So Daimler may be a premium OEM, but he wants more affordable solutions.
Okay.
So our objective is come out with affordable products for the customers, be closely aligned to customer needs, individual customer needs, and develop products as per his requirement, but they have to be affordable.
Okay.
So that is abroad. In India, if you see really historically, see, India has never really invested, the auto company never invested in technology. They've always, kind of relied on the easy way out, technical collaboration agreements, JVs. So they never really invested in R&D. They've enjoyed the profitability over the years. And that, I would say, till about 7, 8, we were also in the same boat. But we realized that we had to invest in technology. But if you ask me how much is our investment in technology, it may not have been more than 1%.
Okay.
Earlier was even much less.
Okay.
Today it may be 1.5, and we'll probably be upping these numbers now.
Okay.
With all these projects we're taking, with tie-ups we are doing. So we're going for more advanced R&D projects now for future products.
Okay.
So we'll be upping our R&D kind of expense. But everything will not be done in-house.
Okay.
It's not possible to do everything in-house.
Okay.
So in-house we may develop a certain level of technology for our existing products. How to better our existing products, make it more affordable. But some of the newer products, the advanced engineering, we have to have tie-ups with outside companies, whether in India or abroad.
Okay.
Because it's not possible to do everything on your own.
Okay.
But we will be increasing R&D expenditure in India.
Okay.
For definitely, because that's very important, for us to kind of compete with global auto companies which are coming to India. A lot of Japanese have already come to India to service Japanese OEMs. Similarly, we find a lot of interest in India over the last 2 years, and now it will be more. Now with this government in place, probably we can see better growth rates in the two-wheelers and the passenger car markets. Even commercial vehicle markets, is going to see an upswing. So there will be more interest of global companies coming to India.
Okay.
And even some of the Indian companies also are thinking of investing more in R&D. So we have to be there.
True.
So technology is, in a way, besides giving the basic quality and delivery to the customer, technology is a differentiator.
Okay. True.
So we're investing in that.
Okay. You talked of Daimler, and I just want to ask you a question on your new businesses in terms of your new clients. So there's Daimler, which is there, and there's VCV, and there are many others. Can you run us through some of your recent clients where you found new business opportunities?
See, like I said, that buying into Visteon exterior lighting business gave us an automatic kind of access to global OEMs in the passenger car market.
Okay.
See, two-wheeler segment, we are already in touch with everyone because we are a big two-wheeler player. So all Japanese, Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha, we are in touch with all Indian companies, of course, we are in touch with. So we have got very strong access to these customers. Okay. Anyway, for two-wheelers. Okay. Four-wheelers has happened now recently because of, buying into this division. So now what has happened is that, let's say if Daimler like recently this week I was with Daimler.
Okay.
And I met with, the global head of purchase.
Okay.
In Stuttgart.
Okay.
Now the meeting was not only for, the lighting systems. Okay, we were discussing how to increase that share of business. We have an existing share, small share with Daimler, in our lighting business. So one was how to increase that share, but also they were interested to know which other products can be supplied.
Okay.
From existing stable in India. For India or out of India.
Okay, wonderful.
So see, this is what happens. So now what we are doing is that we have started leveraging the relationship which we have acquired through this lighting entity, for our other products which we are doing, four-wheeler products which we are doing, either for passenger cars or commercial vehicles.
Which I guess is already happening with, for example, Daimler.
So Daimler is there, we're doing it with Fiat, okay. We're doing it with some, now we start doing it with other customers slowly.
Okay.
So we're just getting organized to kind of, because see, there's a good growth in India also now going forward.
Okay.
So, so we have to see how much we can take, because I'm very financially disciplined. So I'm not going to go beyond a debt to equity ratio or, those numbers of certain profit margins or return on capital employed or debt equity. These numbers are very important to me. So I'm always mindful of all these financial parameters.
Okay. While
I'm growing. So maybe I've grown, but I'm not compromised.
Okay.
On that financial discipline.
Wonderful. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. While you're growing.
Yeah.
So you see among the different areas of business which you're doing, do you feel that they'll continue to progress or give you returns in a ratio which is already existing, or do you think maybe an X business will grow much more than the others?
See, today we're only at 8,000 crores. And today we have got a target of 2020-21, which is financial year or calendar year 2020. I mean, we are looking at 20,000 crores. Now, if you see that growth it's like huge.
Yep.
But that we are targeting, okay, it's a stretch target.
Yep.
But that we are targeting, we are betting bigger on India.
Okay.
Because we are hoping that now with this new government in place, we hope that there will be the right policies, the right reforms will take place, there will be investment in infrastructure coming up, which will drive GDP growth and also drive the automotive market. So within the next 6 years, in 6 years, we are looking at 3,000 to at least 10,000. And abroad also we are looking at 5,000 and higher, So let's say we're close to 20,000 crores, we'll be happy. We would have really done a fantastic job if we are able to achieve that. And that's a stretch target anyway for all our divisions. Each of our divisions has got a strategy.
Okay.
And they know which customers to focus, whether in India or abroad, exports out of here, or even for a Varroc lighting system entity, also they have their own strategy. How to reach a certain level of growth, totaling 20,000 crores.
Okay.
That is a strategy which has already been done.
Okay.
But yes, that's something on paper. There are always things which may happen or not happen. Some things may be positive, some things may be negative, but we will see, we'll review it every 6 months how it's moving.
Okay.
The strategy. So we are betting bigger on India, the growth in India. We'll be looking at higher GDP growth, so higher growth in passenger car market, in two-wheeler markets and commercial vehicle markets. But all these three are our markets where we supply products to.
Okay. And also the Indian automotive market is changing, evolving in the sense, the government's come out with this National Electric Mobility Mission. There perhaps going to be more electric vehicles, and of course there's more emphasis on electronics in a vehicle. Then I'm sure we all heard about automated vehicles coming in, lightweighting. Do all these throw up a lot of challenges for a company like yours?
Yeah, see, these challenges are not new to us.
Okay.
These challenges, lightweighting, is very, every customer you supply to, and not only now for years, they want lower cost.
Okay.
So the point is that you can't give lower cost by giving discounts every year. Soon you'll be making no margins. So you have to do value engineering. You have to design products, lesser amount of parts in an assembly, or look at alternate materials. You have to look at this. So this is not something new. And why are they asking for it? For the lower cost. One is lower cost, of course, obviously their volumes are going up. They want lower cost, but also for fuel emissions and for fuel efficiency. So it is also from that angle, because they have to meet government norms.
True.
The government regulations that you need lightweighting, or lower costs.
That's right.
And the demands are there anyway. For lower cost, the demands are there from whether any OEM in the world, including India, wants year-on-year reductions. So that's something which is not today. Okay. There is something of lightweighting which is there. Now this thrust on electronics and all is a good thing. Because there's going to be more electronics going forward in vehicles. The way, whether it's two-wheeler or passenger car. For example, even for lighting, like till now, basically, there's more plastics than electronics in a light.
True.
But going forward, I tell you, the quantum jump, the percentage of electronics will be far higher than plastics in an exterior light.
Possible, yes. The way things are going. Yes.
Yeah. So that is anyway the way things are moving. There's more and more electronics, in cars. Whether it's for comfort systems or whether it's for in the engine management or whatever else.
Okay.
So I think the thrust on electronics anyway is a very positive, and that's something which the government has to do. But electric vehicles and all on the Indian roads, I feel is going to be a slow process. Because today the government also has to help with the infrastructure.
True.
For electric vehicle is in the developed world, and there also, the electric vehicles are so rampant. There are electric vehicles in certain places, but they have created infrastructure for charging stations or whatever else.
That's right.
In the city, intercity is very difficult. The more like city cars and all. In India, for that to happen, you and I know how much time it will take. Now we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And also they have to subsidize the electric vehicles.
Absolutely right.
For people to buy.
True.
So how much they're willing to commit on subsidies for electric vehicles, we have to wait and watch.
Okay.
At the moment there is no clear policy.
True.
For electric vehicles.
A teeny bit of direction is there right now. Perhaps they work on it. One last question, Mr. Jain, is We just talked about your very ambitious plan of reaching a certain target by 2020. Do we see a lot of, in this interim period, do we see a lot of acquisitions coming in or technical collaborations coming in? And most important, you're also turning 25, your company. How does it feel to be so young?
Yeah. No, see, I'm sorry, what was the first question? Your first?
On achieving this target.
Yeah, so basically, I tell you, honestly, we have to look at inorganic growth, always.
Okay.
See, this 20,000 is not going to be only possible organically.
Okay.
So we are going to be looking at inorganic growth. We are going to look at opportunities whether in India or abroad. We are definitely going to look at it for us to achieve that number.
Okay.
So that's for sure. Otherwise, we can't. I think it will be difficult to achieve 20,000 in my view.
Okay.
And the other part is that 25 years have passed very fast. But just to give you a little bit of it feels very good. It feels very good to have turned 25, and it does feel. I do feel a sense of achievement that we have been able to reach this stage, this size. I couldn't have imagined it actually, but I think luck has also played a part. Because luck always plays a part, but we have been very focused on the basics. Whether it is basic Q&D for customer, whether it's basic execution for the customer and financial discipline. Those things we have not compromised. So those basics we have, I think, always done. We've been focused. We have understood individual customer needs right from day one, kind of a thing. And we have always persisted. I'll tell you, from 1990 when we started till 2000. In 2000, our turnover was only 100 crores. So we grew from zero to, first year we were maybe a crore, 1990.
Okay.
That's understandable, maybe.
Yeah.
2000, we were only 100 crores. So 2100 to 8000 has happened in 14 years. And that has happened also through the acquisitive route, but that's a part of Varroc. Whether it's organic or inorganic,
Absolutely.
we've got opportunities, we've taken opportunities. We made full use of the opportunities we got. Somewhere we have failed also, we have learned. We have failed. It's not that every acquisition worked out for us. We have tried some other acquisitions before, we have failed. But there were learnings always.
True.
And today, almost 62% of our business is abroad. Manufacturing abroad. And only 38% is in India. That's the way, like I told you, 3,000 and 5,000.
And okay, wonderful. And when you turn 25, which is the day?
So we are turning 25. Actually, this is our 25th year already.
Okay.
So we end our 25th year on 20th of March.
Okay.
20th of March is the last day of our 25th year. We started 1990, 21st March 1990 is when we started operations. When we did our first sale.
Okay.
So this is actually our 25th year.
Okay.
In progress.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful interview.